Hey guys, this is Stu's back at the bench for July 2020, and obviously because today's the 1st of July, I decided to do the channel update now. Also, it is actually a mutual friend of mine's and neighbour's birthday today. That's Maz HM. So Maz, if you're watching this, hun, happy birthday to you. Oh. I hope you're having a fantastic day. By the looks of it, you are, so that's good. Yeah, as I say, I apologise for the lack of videos just lately, because when I came back out of lockdown, the first day's trading at work just was berserk. The first week was berserk. I've never known how the general public spend so much in all my entire life. It's just like they've let the animals out the zoo, if you could say that. But it's good because basically, it's a good kickstart for the economy after the last 2 months of lockdown. Well, almost 3. Bit of a concern, obviously, with some of the numbers spiking up in some of the local communities again and around the world. So it's looking as though we're going to have a second wave coming across, but I hope it doesn't hit us. But anyway, I'm not going to go on to that subject because it will get related into politics, and then I'll start ranting. And I think I did enough rants in the past, so I'm not doing it again. So, as regards my projects, I've had a little bit of a hiccup with the Panzer II, and you're saying, here we go again, Stu. Yeah, I know. The trouble with my modelling projects is I go along, they go pretty well, and then all of a sudden there's a spanner that goes in the works and nothing goes according to plan, and it's happened again. But before I get on to that, I must admit I have been a bit of a sci-fi geek over the last 2 months, and I've basically in the last 2 months been a bit naughty, and obviously because I'm a Star Wars fan, I've actually ended up buying loads of Clone Wars DVDs, and I'm not kidding you guys, if anybody's a Star Wars fan, these are brilliant. And they're set in between the second prequel, Attack of the Clones, to Revenge of the Sith, and it is actually about the period of the Clone Wars itself. It's animated, computer animated, but the story in essence is very much the same, featuring Anakin Skywalker and the old Obi-Wan Kenobi and some other familiar characters, as well as ones that we didn't know about, such as Ahsoka, who is actually Anakin Skywalker's apprentice. So yeah, but they are good stories. I must admit, they're very, very addictive, and it's very compelling, and I'm absolutely hooked. In fact, I binge watched about 4 episodes this afternoon. So there you go. But if anybody's not seen them, yeah, I hardly recommend you go and watch them. If you don't want to buy the DVDs, you can downstream them, I think, on Disney Plus. But you can't get them on Netflix, unfortunately. But hey, there you go. Once they're out the way and I've watched Revenge of the Sith, I shall get Star Wars Rebels, which is set in between Revenge of the Sith up to A New Hope. So there you go. Yeah, I think what I will start off with is basically what I've actually been getting in the last 2 months. I'll start off with a recent one that came yesterday, and I know Michael from Hamilcar Balkas has basically put this through and mentioned this on his channel update, and funnily enough, Michael, I actually got one myself. As soon as I saw it, I ordered it, pre-ordered it from MirageHobbies, and actually I'd totally forgotten about it until they reminded me it had come in. So I thought, right, okay, I'll get it in. It's just totally forgotten about it with everything that's been going on. Although I did pre-order for one of the rifled Sherman Firefly, and I never got one, so I've been on to the company concerned. So unfortunately they're out of stock at the moment, So as soon as they get any more in, they're going to send me one. But this one I got from MirageHobbies, and very prompt. In fact, they only reminded me about 4 days ago, and I got it in yesterday. It's the Panzer III Alfs M with Scherzen. Excuse me. I think I'll have another drink. It can dry, a bit of a dry throat. It does look a super little kit, very clean and crisp. You've got various extra parts, including the Scherzen with it, and the decals look excellent. I think my brother's built 1 or 2 of the Chacom kits, and he heartily recommends them. And yeah, I haven't got very many Panzer IIIs in my stash. In fact, this is the only one at the moment. I did have another L, which was the Ultimate kit that I sold that on. But this one I am intending to build at some stage. And I love this tritonal scheme. I think this is a version that was at Kursk as well. So yeah, should be a good little kit to build. And I'll possibly do an inbox version on review on that one. So yeah. And another one which turned up today, this is a company called Dora Wings. I know Jason Champion's basically done an inbox review on champion scale modelling of it. And I thought, well, I'm going to get one as well. So here it is. It's the Schmidt BF109A/B. Both versions are from the Spanish Civil War with the Condor Legion, which is where I think the Messerschmitt actually sort of broke its teeth in warfare on. And as you can see, there's a Policarpo 516 is just shot down in the background there from the Spanish Liberation Army or Air Force or Republican Air Force. They actually do a Dewoitin as well, which I'm very tempted to get in. So I may well do an inbox review on this. I've had a look at it today. It does look a lovely little kit, I have to say. So yeah, there you go. Next up is, well, a couple of main kits, a couple of fun little kits, and brother's built one of them, and I decided to get 2, and obviously because I'm a bit of a Tiger nut, I ended up getting the Tiger 1 as well as the Tiger 2 King Tiger. So yeah, a couple of little fun builds. So I've had a little look through them. Look lovely and crisp and neat, very easy to assemble, and to be honest, it's just a little bit of fun. I got these for $9.74 each, directly from Hong Kong. Admittedly, they did take their while here because of the COVID thing. But yeah, they do look nice, fun little builds to do actually. And I think I'll do the Tiger one first and then follow it on with the King Tiger. So yeah, look forward to building them at some stage. And this is another one I got, Coldwell Bird, which is the Sukhoi Su-17 M3R Recon by Mr. Craft. Admittedly, these kits are crude, but I have to say, this one does look nice and neat to do. Admittedly, I might work with some aftermarket for the cockpit just to boost it up a little bit. But generally, it looks a nice little kit. There's some lovely panel line detail on it as well. So yeah, that one I'm looking forward to doing. It's actually in the markings of an aircraft which was used out in Afghanistan, but although this is the reconnaissance version of it. So yeah. And to be honest with you, another one I actually sort of wanted to get hold of, I had it before but I got it in again, is Airfix's English Electric Lightning F2A, or as they used to call it, 30 Tons of Thunder. They have got 2 of these at Elvington, but sadly its days are over there, along with some other possible classics, because the party concerned has retired, who ran the show and the actual airfield, and has left it to his son, and lo and behold, his son has basically sold it off to developers, which I think is personally disgusting. And now some of these aircraft have got to be found new homes, or they're going to end up getting scrapped. which is a shame. The Lightnings, I've got to find the two Lightnings I've got there, I've got to find a home. The Buccaneers, and more essentially the VC10, because it's the last ground running VC10 that is in the country, apart from the one that's over at Dunsfold, but that's under threat possibly. And I think it would be a great shame if that went ahead, because it's always been a popular show. Okay, you never longer see these birds in the air, but it's just lovely to see them on the ground running at such an iconic show. And they are iconic aircraft of our aviation history. And I think it would be a great shame that money got in the way and sentiment was put out the window and our historic heritage was basically thrown to the scrap heap. I've signed a personal petition to it. So if anybody wants to do so, just scroll down my personal Facebook page and I think you'll find the link and just sign in. So the more signatures you get, more action. We may well stop this from happening, because I think it would be a very great shame and a travesty, to be honest with you. But there you go. Also, I managed to get myself another nice little gem, which is the de Havilland Vampire T11, and you can also do it in a Swedish J28C. I just love the aesthetic lines on it and this colour scheme, really. So, and it is basically one of the first jets that actually enter the Air Force inventory. So I thought I'd get one. So there you go. Because I'm getting back into my Cold War 172nd aircraft. I don't know why, but there you go. And Ranger kits I actually bit my armour teeth into on were Airfix, where they're 176 range, and believe it or not, I've actually got a couple. First off, a Scammell tank transporter, and as you can see, it's actually got a Churchill being loaded up on its trailer, and believe it or not, I've also got the Churchill as well. So those will be for a future little vignette project I may well do. And as I say, I bit my teeth onto armour modelling on this very sort of range, as it were. So it's like I'm sort of going back to my roots, really. I don't think it does you any harm to go back to some of the kits you've previously sort of bit your teeth into, a certain modelling range, as it were. So I thought, why not, you know? And it's good that Airfix are bringing out all their vintage kits, really. And in fact, they're bringing out the de Havilland Devon, or is it Harem? So I'm getting hold of that, I'll tell you. And then another one I basically got, having seen Michael at Mod Art 633 do his Wingnut Wings RE8, which again, I'm sad to say, they are a name that are looking as though they're going to disappear. If that is the case, I think it's going to be a great shame, because although they were expensive, I was very tempted to get one. But now, obviously, now this is going ahead, the money for these remaining kits has just gone through the roof. So there is no way I'm ever going to get a Wingnut Wings kit, and if I do, I'm going to have to win the lottery to get hold of one. So yeah. But anyway, he inspired me to do a First War aircraft, really, at some stage, and I decided to go in for one of Roden's rather than Edwards. It's an aircraft that I've always thought is aesthetically pleasing and very graceful to look at, and it's a personal favourite of mine from the First War. It's, of course, the Bristol F2B fighter. As I say, I just love the aesthetic lines on it. It doesn't look a bad kit. It's, comparing it to Edward, maybe not as good as Edward, but again, I've not built a Roden kit, so I don't really know. But it does come with a myriad of options for markings. So I'll either do that version, or more than likely do that version. I haven't really made my mind up yet, but we'll see. Or even the one that's on the box art, which actually was flown by Andrew McKeever, so I may well look up his personal service history and see what was involved in that. But anyway, mind you, I think it tells you on the box anyway. So yeah, that's about the only sort of First War aircraft I've got in my inventory, because the little Fokker Eindecker I had, I sold that on. Idiot, but there you go. But I am planning on getting some more First War aircraft into my stash, so we shall see. And final two are basically this, which is MirageHobbies T26. I've not built one of their kits. I've heard good and bad about them, but they do unusual subjects from the mainstream companies that do most stuff. And I've got a little vignette plan with this one, which is sort of roaming around in my head, because I haven't really done a lot of Russian armour, if any at all. And yeah, this is an early sort of one during Barbarossa, really. So I thought I'd possibly do this one, and it's actually done by MirageHobbies. I've had a look at it. It does look a nice little kit, but say I don't know what they like to sort of build, as it were. But they do unusual subjects, so that's why I really sort of bought it as such. And what will may go with it in the vignette is this little ICM Soviet tank crew, although you've got the back here a BT6, BT7. So I just thought that it was sort of give the impression of something from 1941 with Operation Barbarossa, which next year will be the 80th anniversary of. Although this year it's the 80th anniversary of Dunkirk and the Battle of Britain, as it were. So there you go. And that's basically what I've had in over the last few months. Although I did forget to mention, I did get this little glue pot holder from Ultimate Modelling Products. Handy little things they've got for storage units. So check out their website. That's Ultimate Modelling Products. So yeah. Was there anything else I actually meant? Oh yeah, there was a metallic detail set for the A380, which I was going to build for my brother. I got that in as well. I have it somewhere, but I can't think where at the moment. But there you go. I'll probably tell you more about that when I get around to doing that project. As I say, with my builds, I've not had a lot of time on the bench, and what bit time I have had has been a bit of a premium, really, because although I had a lot of time off on furlough, a lot of my time was taken up with other things, personal life and other issues that were going on. So otherwise I would have got a lot more done. But as I say, with regards to the Panzer II project, wow, figures are now on the diorama. They are all matte coated and done, and positioned and glued down. As regards to Panzer II, that is almost finished. All I've got to do is basically get a bit of weathering done on the lower hull, get some rust streaks around the various part of the tank, and more essentially on the exhaust muffler there, yeah, I had a bit of a disaster with the actual tracks, unfortunately, and thankfully a fellow YouTube modeler, because if you remember, I lost one of the wheel hubs on there when I was trying to get the actual sprocket on. Michael, Kevin from Dunhill 2005 on YouTube, he kindly messaged me in response to my last video about this project, and sent me another kit of the Panzer II, which arrived the other week. So Kevin, thank you very much, my friend. That was very decent of you and very kind of you to do that for me. And as a net result, I'll be able to get this project well and truly finished, although when, I don't know. Because unfortunately with the thrall tracks, I mistakenly put them in the box, packed them into the box, and as a net result they ended up getting destroyed and basically buckled to hell, and they would not fit on the actual vehicle. Also, with the fact that I actually put some plastic guard under the side skirts, didn't leave me a lot of space to get the tracks around, so I'm having to sand back the front of the side skirts to get them to fit around. Not so much a problem at rear or around here, it's just around the front. There's not much clearance height, so I've sanded them back to get them on, and unfortunately, as you can see, I've knocked the aerial off again, so I'll get that back on. But what I will do until I get the throttle tracks in, I'll just weather up the sides, get the final weathering done on it, and then all I've got to do is wait until I get my replacement throttles through, get them done, built up and positioned and weathered, painted and weathered, and then it will be project accomplished. And then I will do my final reveal video on this very project. But as I say, I started this back in what, December? I still haven't got it done. Oh, I just hate it when projects linger like this and you just want to get the damn thing done. But we'll get there. I'm not going to give up on the projects. I am determined to get this finished. So I will do at some date, guys, so I promise you. So for now, she's going to be a shelf queen in the modelling cabinet along with my other done projects. Now, as regards my entry into the National Pride group build, which, as you well know, was the Wessex HC2 based at RAF Odium circa 1978. Yeah, I've got a lot more progress done since you last saw it, actually, to be honest with you. Although I did come across another problem, unfortunately. Where did I put the instruction sheet? Oh yeah, here we go. Oh no, that's not it. I did have this in a previous recording, which I did, and I can't find it. What did I do with it? Bear with me a minute, guys. I think I may possibly have it in its original box. So, what did I do with it? It's around this. Oh, here we go. I found it. Yeah. Basically, if I get it over here, as you can see, I've got the fuselage built up since you last saw it. I haven't done a lot of photographs on there about it, to be honest, on my page, my Facebook page. But it's come on a bit since you last saw it, and it is beginning to look like a Wessex. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to move the camera around, actually, because there's not a lot you can see about the internal workings on this, and I shall move it onto the bench here because the light is in the right direction. So let's just move this down a bit. There we go. Get the camera positioned. There we are. So basically, I've got the fuselage assembled, the interior is in it now. I basically sprayed it with AS28, which is medium grey, which officially is the interior colour of the Wessex, which you can basically see here, because I wanted to put it in a vision where the light is. Obviously I built up the interior because in the actual kit there's not a lot to it. I added internal framework with some sprue, and obviously used the Airwaves etch brass set for the galley seats, which you can see in there for the troops, and basically did colour referencing off the internet for the interior of the Wessex. So I've got the Wessex colour, got the interior colours spot on now. Basically detail painted that up as well as the cockpit, and sorry for the shaky hand. And then after that was done, I added the Tamiya panel line wash just to accentuate the detail, and then put in a dark dirt wash to make the detail pop up a little bit further. And as you can see, I also dry brushed on the galley floor the actual details, just to give it the impression that it's been walked over with all the troops, and obviously got chipped, and also a little bit of chipping on some of the internal framework as well, to give it that sort of weathered and worn effect, as it were, because these were workhorses during their time there. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see the interior workings of the actual Wessex itself. I could have done a little bit more, but I thought, well, to be honest with you, that would have taken an eternity, and to be honest, you're not going to see a lot. I just see the basics there. So that's come out really well, and the cockpit with the airwave set has come up well too. The control panel there, that really was quite easy to do. See if I can just to get the damn thing to focus. Again, that was medium grey for the panel, and then I just just painted out the detail parts with black, and the actual background of that is gloss black, which I glued it onto from some scratch built sprue, because the original control panel in the kit was missing. And then obviously with the seats, they were the airwave set, so they're all detail painted. Again, I used a dark dirt wash on them, and they've come up really well. And as you can see, the back of the soundproofing is painted near enough the colour it should be. But when I put the fuselage together, as you can see here, there's a dirty great gap. There was a few fit issues with this, unfortunately, and it was a bit of a frigging nightmare to put the fuselage together. But I think that's the fault of the kit, because it doesn't really fit that greatly. So I had to do quite a few dry runs on this. But by the time you get the actual perspex on, if I can find it, where did I put it? Oh, here we are. I got it. By the time you actually get the actual canopy on, and it's like I say, every time you get the canopy on, and you'll have it painted, you're not really going to see anything. So it's not a heartbreaker, to be honest with you. Although there's still issues with this as well, so I'm probably going to put some PVA in just to fill it, really, or some super glue. So really that's as far as I've got with my projects. Also, I've been doing a lot of reference materials, and there's some sort of differences between the HC2 and the HU5, which this is supposed to be. This particular pitot tube for the actual radio wires, they're saying it should go there, but I've actually done the reference photos and it's actually positioned there. So there are subtle differences, and also there's a fairing on the front with the HC2, whereas with the HU5, whereas with this HC2 there isn't, according to the reference photos I've got. Also with the front air grill for the engine, it's on the airwave set, it's way too big, because it just doesn't fit at all. So I've left it with a kit part as well. And with the air grill for your rotor head, what they want you to do is basically cut out all these bits in between the actual frame, and then put the actual etch brass underneath it. Now the only problem is that the plastic on this is very brittle, so I was worried about basically breaking it. So I decided just to leave the original aircraft piece with the kit on it. The only air grills I'm going to be putting on are just basically where the rear rotor head is, just there, and underneath there. So that's it really. But as I say, it's been although it's been a little bit of a challenge fit wise, it is a nice representation of the Wessex, and I'm having a lot of fun with it actually. It is really getting my mojo going again for aircraft. So you know, that's what I'm intending to do, is get on ahead with this project. And as I say, I did come across a problem unfortunately with this. Let's put him up there, because when I actually went through the kit when I was building it, the main sponsons for the undercarriage there and there, as you see, basically ringed round, are missing. So because this is a kit that is out of production, I went on to eBay and I've managed to source another one. And in a way, it's a shame that I'm going to have to break the seal on it, because this is still factory sealed. And this, as I say, this kit is no longer produced, although they do it in 48th. So it really seems a shame to open it up just to use it as a spare source. But as I say, I've got an Eastern Express Wessex HAS1, which I'm going to use for the Ark Royal Air Group at the future date, and I'll probably use spares off of this just to cross-kit it and detail it, to be honest with you, because there's not, the Eastern Express one's very, very crude and there's hardly any detail. And again, I'll probably use the Airwaves cockpit set for it. So there you go. So basically, guys, that's it really in a nutshell over the last 2 months. As I say again, I'm sorry I've not done many videos, but as I say, time has been a premium and work's been crazy. But hopefully that will simmer down soon, and God forbid we don't go into another lockdown. We should be fine. Anyway, I'm going to finish at 31 minutes because I've been harping on a bit too much now. So as always, stay healthy, stay safe, and be alert, obviously, and you take care of yourselves. And as I always say, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I will very much speak to you soon. Cheers.